Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ned. This is my dog Jai, and we make videos on Microsoft Power BI. This is part 3 of my video series on continuous integration and continuous deployment, where I attempt to set up full deployment pipelines for Microsoft Power BI using Azure DevOps. This is the third video in the series, so if you haven't watched the earlier videos in the series, I will go link the playlist down below. All right, so let's jump back in and let's get started. If you haven't seen the first two videos in this series, just know that this is basically what I'm trying to build. We essentially have users that can deploy to different feature branches, a deployment pipeline that runs a validation, that then deploys it to the main branch, which is then what is synced into my production workspace. I'm trying to do all of this using Azure DevOps. We have gone through and we've connected all of our workspaces to Azure DevOps, and we now essentially have two empty workspaces all set up, all connected to Git. So we are now on step 2 of this guide, creating and running an Azure DevOps pipeline. Getting started then, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit pipelines. And then once this is loaded, we are going to go and create our first pipeline by hitting the create pipeline button. Then once that's done, we're going to go ahead and go Azure repos.git. We're going to select our repository, which is our Power BI video demo, and we're going to start with a starter pipeline. We then are going to copy and paste some YAML out of another website. And here it is. And as you can see, it's linked here on Microsoft /analysis services. So, it's probably not going to give you a virus because it's coming directly from Microsoft. That said, I'm sure this is provided without warranty. As you can see, it's doing a couple of different things. So the first thing it's doing is it's downloading the portable version of Tabular Editor. The next thing it's doing is it's running the rules that are configured in Tabular Editor. The next thing it's doing is it's downloading PBIX Inspector. So it's downloading that. And then it is running the report rules. And it looks like these data set rules that it's validating against and then build report rules that it's validating against are linked. So let's take a closer look at what those rules are. So the first rule that it is applying is from the best practice analyzer. So it looks like it is avoiding floating data points, a few different things on relationships. So you split date and time, large tables should be partitioned. You have a snowflake schema architecture. That would be the model should have at least a one date table. Date calendar table should be marked as a date table. Remove date table. You name it with Power BI data models. This seems to be handling quite a bit of performance. So that is great. The other thing that it seems to be checking on the Power BI report visual side is it's looking for unused custom visuals. It's reducing the number of visuals on the page. So it's looking for essentially a maximum of 20 visuals. Let's see what else we got going. It's reducing the number of objects within a visual. So that's, of course, great. And as you can see right here, it is 6 objects within a visual. The next thing that it's doing is reducing the top N filtering. So that's good. It's reducing the number of advanced filters. Let's see. Reducing the total number of pages, avoid showing items with no data. That makes sense. Hide tooltip drill through pages. Ensure theme colors. Nice. Ensure pages do not scroll vertically. That's another good one. Ensure alt text. Another good one. It looks like that's about it. So these are the rules, the validation rules that we're going to be configuring. And it looks if we want to customize these rules, we can actually go ahead and do that just by essentially taking these base rules and or this JSON and then essentially stripping it out and putting it in the root of our GitHub. So that is good to know. So let's go ahead and let's start by just kind of starting with the initial script and moving on from there. So here is the code that was provided. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that raw file, and then I'm going to copy all over my demo pipeline, and I'm going to paste. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit save and run. And I think that commit message is okay. So I will go commit directly to the master branch. So I will save into the master branch when this pipeline is run. And oh no, it looks like we have hit an error. Now, this error appears to mainly be due to licensing. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can't fix that. So I'm going to go right here to my edit pipeline. And if you notice, I'm doing both of this kind of stuff in the same stage. So I have a stage, then I've got my stage build, then I've got jobs, right? Then I've got jobs build. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to title this stage build data sets, and I'm going to go down, right? And here we are. So here's my build data sets in its new stage. And then I'm going to copy this piece. I'm going to go down to my other job, which is right here. I'm going to paste this, and I'm going to title this one, instead of build data sets, I'm going to title this build reports. And under here, I'm going to add a depends on, hopefully. Oh, they're doing spaces here. Depends on, I'm going to say builds data sets. And let's see, I think that should have fixed this, but I'm getting some spacing errors. So now let's see, it's probably because I haven't done this. Build reports, jobs, build reports. And it's not liking my spacing. Why not? So let's see if it will like that. So let's go validate, and let's see. So it depends on, oh, I see. Okay, see, I didn't put a space there, and that is why. So there we go, validate and save, and save. And now let's see if this runs, if I go ahead and I hit run. So here we are, it's running. And oh, we've got now stages, 2 different stages set up. So if we run these, as you can notice, oh God, look, so I had parallelism 2 in my build data sets. So we're going to have to go ahead and fix that. So we're going to go back up here, go up to edit pipeline, and then I think we need to add a depends on up here. So we'll go depends on, and we'll go and we'll go blank. So that way we know that it depends on nothing. And hopefully we'll try to get the spacing right. Come on. So we'll go validate and save and see what error we're getting. See, mapping values are not allowed in this context, but I just did it down here. So maybe we'll go back up here. Depends on. Maybe I'll go job here. No, depends on jobs. And we'll go capital J. Okay, let's try to fix the spacing one more time. So we're going to go backspace here, and then we're going to go backspace here, and we'll go backspace one more time. And then we'll go tab, backspace tab, backspace. Okay, and now let's try hitting validate and run, and unexpected value of jobs. Why? Oh, and maybe that's because it's a capital J. So let's go jobs there, and now let's go validate and save. While parsing a block mapping, it did not find expected key. And just like that, I hate to admit it, but I think we've hit our first major roadblock of this project. It's pretty late here, so I'm going to go get ready for bed. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it was mainly just watching me struggle. I'll be back at it soon, I promise. And if you're interested in watching me continue to struggle and watching the journey, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Thanks for watching.